and welcome to Update Novi. I am Sheryl Walsh-Molloy, Director of Communications here at the City of Novi, and happy to have as my co-host, again, the Honorable Mayor Justin Fischer. Welcome.
Good to be here. How you doing? Happy summer.
Happy summer.
Have you been out at the lake or something? You're all tan. Are you working at all?
I work every day.
Okay.
Every day, my friend.
Just making sure.
Our poor guest is going, what did I get myself into, right?
I'm good.
With us today, we have a wonderful community partner, Susan Erspamer. And Susan is the executive director with Hospitality House.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today.
We've been talking about this for a while to get you in here. And I think what spurred that is I came out and had a tour. I think you reached out, or you and I connected maybe at a chamber event or something. And I think wrongfully so, I'll state that, Novi has this stereotype of being such an affluent community that there aren't any needs of this sort, right? Of a food pantry, or those resources, right? And I think it's often goes unnoticed that there is an underserved population here. And you, Susan, helped educate me about that. And I told Mayor, I said I went out and had a tour and was so impressed. So that's what led you
we're here today.
to be
Well, thank
here
you
today.
for coming out and for also having me as your guest today. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So for anyone who maybe isn't familiar and hasn't been out there, why don't you tell them a little bit about Hospitality House and a little bit about your involvement and how you got started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Hospitality House is a client choice food pantry, and what I mean by that is when people come into our pantry, instead of getting a box of food, they're given a grocery cart and they shop our grocery store style food pantry. That way they're being treated with dignity and respect. They're getting the food they want and that they're going to eat, and it cuts down on waste all at the same time. Besides our client choice food pantry, we have our weekend food program. So that program is for kids who are getting the free meals Monday through Friday, but they're going home hungry on the weekends. So we pack drawstring bags with 6 meals and 4 snacks. Volunteers deliver them to the school on Thursday. They're handed out on Friday. Kids have food to eat over the weekend and come back to school energized and ready to learn. So we're in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, but a little over a year ago, we launched in the Novi Community School District. So we're in your district with that.
See, again, you've shared all this with me when we met. It just still is mind-blowing to me. But yet, so comforting and such a blessing that you are there for those in need for our community. It gets me choked up even thinking about it. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, the areas you serve. You said Walled Lake Schools, Novi Schools, but what communities do you serve? And then maybe give the proportionate, because Novi's at the top of that list.
Novi is at the top of that. So we don't have any borders. So we are open. If anybody has the courage, because I do believe it takes courage to come into a pantry, as we were discussing, there's still a lot of stigma related to that. If you have the courage to come to our pantry, you are going to leave with food. So primarily, though, we are in Oakland County. Our top cities are Novi, Wixom, and Walled Lake. In 2025, Novi was the #1 city, the #1 with households that were coming to seek our support again.
What's the criteria, I guess, or do you not ask criteria? And how do you know that it's Novi? Do you have to show some type of identification, or I guess educate me a little bit.
We do an intake with individuals, but we do not ask for an ID. It's part of our agreement with our partners. We don't ask for ID, and we don't want to have any barriers of people coming there. We do an assessment. We ask that people are 300% of the poverty rate. Going back to the dignity and respect, we don't ask that you bring in pay stubs or taxes or anything like that. It's more of a verbal, it's just a conversation. How much are you making? What are your expenses? And see if people meet the criteria. And unfortunately, almost always people meet the criteria.
So we did talk a little bit before we got started.
Yeah.
You said there's a little bit of a stigma sometimes. What if someone's out there and they, kind of feel like they do maybe need this kind of assistance, but they're nervous? Like how do they contact you, or what advice would you give someone that kind of needs to reach out to someone but won't? How do we get them over that barrier if they do need help?
Yeah, first off, please reach out to us. You can check us out on the website and get a feel for who we are, but then please come into the pantry. We have a few staff, we're mostly volunteer driven, but volunteers that are ready to meet with you and ready to meet with you where you're at. And I want people to know it is not the type of intake or assessment that you need to be nervous about. We want to sit down and have a conversation.
Not
we
a job
want to learn
interview.
It's not a podcast.
It's not a job interview.
No, it's
nothing...
a kind conversation.
Yep. Okay.
Someone came in today and with their daughter, and they were very nervous about it. And it's like, let's just sit down and talk. Yep. We're not going to jump right into questions. Let's just sit down and have a conversation. What's going on? What's going on with your family?
Okay.
How can we help you?
It must be very difficult for people to admit they need help or assistance, but yet alone go to a stranger, right? Sometimes it's hard to even ask family or friends, but let alone to go to a stranger and express whatever your situation, loss of job, separation, divorce, seniors living paycheck to paycheck.
36% of our clients are seniors.
Okay.
And people with medical issues. So 1 minute you're living and you have this very successful job, and the next minute you don't. And you might be on a transplant list. I mean, these are some stories I've heard. Or you might have cancer. And all of a sudden you can no longer work. You don't have the income coming in. And you need support. It can be anybody, right? It can be anybody.
Now, one other thing you said that kind of struck me, as you said, I feel like every time we talk, every time I look at your website, I'm learning something different. But it's the client choice type of pantry, right? Which we've started to do a lot here in the city with food waste, and we're looking at some different composting things. And I didn't even think about the fact that, of course, if people can actually choose what they're getting, there's going to be less waste, there's going to be less thrown away as opposed to the prepackaged, right? So that's the concept there, where people might get 100 things, but 10 of them they know they don't like, or they're allergic, or other things, right? So.
And on top of that, we don't just have non-perishable food. We have dairy. Like today, we had milk and eggs and butter. We have fresh vegetables. We have fresh fruit. We have frozen proteins. So we offer a variety of foods.
Oh, I know. It's like a little mini Aldi walk in the aisles. It's something like you actually grocery shop and can put together meals for your family. I was so impressed. Let's talk a little bit about funding. Where do you get the food items? Because you said today we had milk and eggs, So how does that happen?
Yeah.
And how are y'all supported throughout the community?
Yeah, so how we get the food, and then we can talk about funding too, but how we get the food is we buy food from gleaners. We get it free from Forgotten Harvest. People that do food drives for us, Novi has been very generous with that in different areas, doing food drives for us. And then speaking of food and food waste, we rescue food. So I always laugh. When I started at Hospitality House, I was familiar with rescuing dogs and cats. And now I'm very familiar with rescuing food. So we have 2 vans.
I see you going in there with a SWAT team and is that how it is? Or
of course that's how it is, right? We're full gear. No, but we do have 2 vans that go out in the community and we rescue food from a variety of settings. Right here in Novi, we go to Chick-fil-A. So chicken that at the end of the night that could be thrown away, Chick-fil-A is generous enough to put it in the freezer. They bag it, put it in the freezer. Wow. We go pick it up in our van. We put it on our shelves. And how excited are the kids when they see Chick-fil-A chicken?
Oh, sure.
Little Caesars, Target, Trader Joe's, Plum Market, Sam's Club, Costco, all
and they
these
donate
places.
This because to them it would be waste, right?
Right. It's close to the Best By date, and Best By is important. It's not the expiration; it's the Best By date.
Right.
Sure.
So things are good past that date. So it's close to that date, are getting to be a little bit where maybe they don't think their customers would buy it. But a lot of these grocery stores have gotten better where they're giving it to us before it gets to that stage. So we bring it to the pantry and it goes out right away. A couple Thursdays ago, we had a record number of households come through the pantry in one day, 240. Now we were open 10 to 6:30 that day, but so the food's going out faster than it may at a grocery store, or if it's somewhere like Panera, they're not giving it out next day, you know, all those different scenarios.
Are you open every day?
We're open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and the second and fourth Saturday of the month.
Okay.
Those hours are on our website too. So we try to be open evenings, like tonight we're open to 7. And then we're one of the few food pantries that offer a Saturday. So we were open this past Saturday.
And when you're open during those hours, people are free to come in at any time. It's not an appointment-based or anything like that?
We are
is it
appointment-based,
appointment-based?
but we do take walk-ins.
Okay, perfect.
Because of the sheer volume,
Right.
so in 2025, we had a record number of visits, 20,500 visits.
Wow.
Comprised of over 2,000 households and 500 individuals, and we gave out 1.2 million pounds of food.
Yep.
So because of that, you know, we make an appointment, but like today when the walk-in happened, she left with food. You know, nobody's ever gonna leave without food. If we're too busy to shop them that day, like if it's wall-to-wall people in the shopping area, we'll give you an emergency box and say, come back in 2 days, but this food will hold you over.
I was going to say, with all the logistics that you have, I would have to imagine you'd have to do some sort of appointment type of process.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Yes, but it's important to say we don't turn anyone
Right,
away.
of course.
So you just said something. You said you shop them.
Yes.
So when you come in, if you were a recipient, you make an appointment, you come in, you're assigned a volunteer that goes with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Because it's different food all the time. Some are staples, but it's different. The volunteer can even point out, oh, that's Chick-fil-A chicken, or oh, this is from Whole Foods, or, you know, our different partners are in, oh, today we have cabbage. You can take this many of it because there's quantity. So they just help them through the process to expedite it to keep things going.
Okay.
So obviously, we were just talking about some of the volunteers. Obviously, a ton of people probably help make this happen. I get asked a lot of times, whether it be volunteering hours, volunteering resources, time, money. If people want to connect, can you tell us a little bit about those volunteer opportunities and how people in Novi can get involved to help this awesome cause?
Yeah, so that's on our website, hhfp.org. And they just go on and they go under Help Us, you know, and click on the volunteer and they see all the shifts that are available.
Perfect.
So, you know, we have people that shop our clients. Because we have so many families that come in through a given day, we have to have stockers, just like a grocery store. On our delivery days, we need people to help unload the semi-trucks that come through there. Right. We have regular shoppers that do our intake and our front desk and our welcome desk. On any given day, we have anywhere between 15 and 30 volunteers. Wow. We would not exist without our volunteers. You know, we have a small but mighty staff, but it's our volunteers who keep us going.
Where do you get a lot of the volunteers? Is it just people in the community? Is it kind of high school students who need hours? What are some of your more popular venues and sources of your volunteers, or just all over the place?
So it's individuals in the community that come to us, students, you know, looking for some of those hours as well. But we have businesses that come to us. So businesses will form groups. One I'm thinking of that's also here in Novi, well, they're around, but Vibe Credit Union on a monthly Lineage is in Novi too. They send volunteers to us every month.
Oh, wow.
So we have these group volunteers for businesses that come in, and I didn't mention all the businesses, but there's a ton of businesses.
Is there
that come
training
and
for
support us.
volunteers, or can anyone just sign up?
Anyone that can just sign up. Our positions, such as our front desk, intake, welcome desk, there's more training involved with that, and we look for more of a regular shift, let's say. But the other volunteer roles, we just ask that they come in before we open. We give them a tour. We talk about everything. Sometimes they want to be with a regular volunteer, as we have some volunteers that show up week after week, and so we pair them with someone until they're comfortable being out on their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about where you get the food, the volunteers, funding. Yeah. You talked a little bit about businesses. A lot of businesses volunteer, et cetera. I'm sure there's a lot of businesses that this tugs at my heart. I can tell there's interest in, you're feeling like the connection too. I'm sure there's businesses that feel this and want to donate.
Yes.
Am I correct? Is there an opportunity there for local businesses to partner?
There is an opportunity.
Okay.
So if it wasn't for our individual donors, our corporate sponsors, we would not exist without the community. So we have 2 major events each year. We have our golf outing coming up on July 27th, and then we have our Taste of Spring in March. It's going to hopefully be the second Wednesday in March again, which is going to be a huge event with over 300 people taking place at the Novi Detroit Sheridan again this next year. They're wonderful partners too.
Yeah.
So we have sponsorship opportunities available through that, but we have businesses that just reach out to us and give us corporate donations as well. So a lot of our funding comes from that. The majority of our funding comes from individual donors, and then our events and corporate sponsors, and then grants. So we apply for a lot of grants. We get CBDG funding through the city of Novi, have for quite some time now. So we appreciate that. Thank you for that. And then the in-kind, the food that we get has a value to it, and that's over $1 million each year that we bring in kind food donations.
So we've touched a lot. You're not in Novi, and I think that I'd love for you to be in Novi, but you are just across the border.
Just barely.
Just barely over the border. Can you share where you are? Everyone can go to your website.
Yes.
But I'm also thinking, so if you could share where you are, but I'm thinking about a homebound senior, like that might not have the means to get to y'all. Is there an opportunity for that too? But let's talk about your location first.
Yeah, so we're in Commerce Township at kind of the intersection of Maple and Welch.
Yep.
There, we're off in it's kind of an industrial area. We're back in there. So like you said, just right butting up to Novi there. Yep. And Walled Lake actually is kind of what we're really close to.
We do have People's Express, so there's an opportunity for transportation where someone could use our senior public transportation to get to y'all. Is there any type of, I'm thinking Meals on Wheels, is there any type of opportunity for people that are homebound to have a delivery, like a stock, like this is, y'all put together a bag and it gets dropped off? Or I'm thinking of the kids, the meals that go home with them on the weekend. Is there anything like that for maybe a homebound or a shut-in older adult?
Yeah, we don't actually do deliveries. We do work with people to find other means of transportation, and we've worked with other nonprofits.
Okay.
When we've gotten calls, I'm homebound, I have absolutely no food, we'll reach out to another nonprofit. Can you help us? And we make sure the food gets delivered.
Like the Meals on Wheels or
and then,
something.
and then we have some people who shop for other people. So we'll call and just make sure, hey, is it okay that this person shops for you? It actually, by coincidence, just happened this past Saturday. Somebody said, my neighbor is on oxygen, they can't get there. And I said, let me just call him, make sure it's okay that you pick up groceries for him. And he said yes, and then we sent it home. So we tried to come up with creative solutions. And people do use People's Express, WODA, and the different transportation companies that are out there.
Again,
it's a great question, Sheryl.
Yeah, it is a great question.
But yeah, obviously with People's Express, and hopefully even maybe we can do more of sharing, that connection too. So.
Well, that was the goal when I met, I think it was last summer that I actually came out, or early fall, and just to raise awareness. Like I said, Susan and I had connected, I really believe, at some chamber events or something.
It was a Novi chamber event.
And we got to talking, and again, I really think there is this stereotype or stigma that there isn't a need in Novi.
Right.
And there is. 35%, I think, is what Susan said, of their Novi participants, or maybe all participants, are older adults and seniors, right? Like there's a demonstrated need. We all see the cost of housing, and our daily
cost of everything. Gasoline.
Has
Gas
risen.
goes up, the price of groceries go up. It just impacts everything. It's like a snowball effect, you know?
Right? So, and the fixed income it doesn't go as far, right? So they are in times of need, or like you said, healthcare becomes an unforeseen challenge or burden to them. So, but then there also are, to hear that you are sending backpacks home with kids from Novi schools, it just, you know, there is a need here, and I don't want to say it's forgotten, because obviously it isn't, but I think many times it's unseen or unnoticed here in Novi.
Of course. And no, like you said, right across the border. I'd love to have you in Novi, of course,
I know.
maybe someday, but really centrally
talked.
located right in kind of Walled Lake Commerce
Right.
and all that. But of not just supporting the Novi residents that may need it, but like you said, you hold one of your fundraisers right here in Novi.
We do.
I've seen you at countless chamber events, right? So
I'm
you're
a
very
huge fan of the
involved
Novi
She was
in
at
the
the Community
chamber.
Fest.
Community
We
Fest.
were at
so,
Community Fest. That's a great event.
It just
as well.
shows that, whether it be an entity like yours or a business, we love partnering with people here in Novi, no matter where you are, because if it's a mutually beneficial relationship, which we
Right.
have, we can all benefit from that.
Yeah, so when I started at the pantry almost exactly 3 years ago, I started looking at the numbers, the statistics, and I saw they were coming from Novi. I'm like, we have to get
we gotta
involved
get out
in
there.
Novi.
We gotta
Yep.
build those
And,
relationships.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. And I think I met you at a chamber
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
And
Yep.
just went up and introduced myself. And you and Sheryl both have been very kind and supportive of the pantry, as well as a number of Novi businesses and individuals.
Right.
And the school.
Yep.
Good.
So thank you for all the good work you're doing.
Correct.
It's
Wow,
amazing.
so appreciated.
Thank you.
And I say that on behalf of a grateful city, but the residents that you're impacting as well.
Well, thank you. And I was thinking about it on the way here. We're here for the community and because of the community. So that's why we exist.
Can you say your website one more time for someone that may be listening, watching, that maybe not even themselves, but they know of a neighbor or someone that they could help educate? Can you say the website
Or if
one
they
more
want to
time?
volunteer or donate.
Or they want to volunteer,
like
but
the
you know, if
volunteering or
they
donating
know,
too.
if
Thank
they
you,
know
Justin.
somebody that's silently struggling, I mean, this is, I can speak firsthand. I've been there. It's beautiful. Again, it's like a little mini Aldi to me. It's
Thank
kind of what
you.
it reminded me of. I think I must have said it a million times when I was there. Like, I was just surprised. It was just, it's beautiful. It's a little grocery store. Like, the dignity, the pride. Like, please reach out. If I could say, reach out. It's a great organization. So let's give a plug for your website.
One more time.
All right, our website is hhfp.org,
Hospitality House
Food Pantry.
Food Pantry.
So that's where the
hhfp.org.
hhfp.org.
Perfect.
Yes.
So
And again, July 27th is a golf outing.
It
You
is a
still
golf
have some
outing.
spots if people want to
Yep.
join with
Our
that.
We do at
Sponsorships, yeah.
Edgewood Country Club. So we have spots for teams and for sponsorships. So we'd
deal.
love
And
to have
then-
people involved.
And then keep our calendars free in March for the Taste of
spring.
Taste of
yes,
Spring.
the second Wednesday in March. I'm drawing a blank on the date, but yes, please do.
We'll keep our eye out for that notice.
Great, thank you. And
Thanks, Susan.
thank you again both for having me here today. It's been awesome sitting down and talking to you both.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for your interest in the pantry.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. We learned something. I'm sure that the Novi community did too.
100%.
I know. Every time I talk with Susan, I learn something new. So again, just heartwarming. So appreciate you for allowing this conversation to happen.
Perfect.
And both of you for all you do for Novi.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Until next time, take care and be safe, Novi.